Check to see if they don't.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
We got Shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor
To the Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash.
double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the other bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. All right, we're just going to go right into it. Esau, as if somebody gets the second Ezra, the 13th chapter about Kashah. Esau is the master of distraction and lies. You have the Super Bowl, the UFC. You got to remember the gladiatorial games and the chariot races
Roman circus
were very, very popular, and the drug flow, the bread and circus. Free bread and drugs at the games, and those were being pushed heavily to distract the people from the reality that the currency was being devalued, that the Appian's way wasn't being rebuilt, that the road basics, Appian's way was the road that led in and out of Rome.
Right.
And, and that certain goods and services that they were accustomed to were no longer coming in, certain spices, certain foods, and things of that nature. Of that nature. And then plus their soldiers were being spread thin for all the Micah 2 and 1, somebody can grab that was going on, because these Edomites, you can never, their appetite for land, power, and material things can never be suffice.
Insatiable.
They just always want more and more and more, and when they have it all, they still want more. There you can kind of look at what's going on now. With the WEF, the world has been given unto the wicked. The basis of men. But yet it's still not enough for them. Right? They want to take all the food for themselves and leave everybody else eating bugs and worms.
That's it.
That's what they're literally trying to do this.
That's it.
Kind of trying.
All right.
And they put it in this global, it's publicized too. They talk about putting beetles in kids' meals and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, they're using some beetle worms, some sort of worms, the larvae of some particular beetle is the main one, and crickets and stuff like that.
That's right.
And
for the record, it's technically lawful according to the scriptures. Beetles and most beetles and locusts and so forth, they actually are lawful. But you're looking at Esau, Edom, they just want the
well, they're gonna have you roaches and all kind of shit.
Right.
They showed you that because they not just gonna. There's no way they're just gonna give you locusts and grasshoppers. Yeah. They're not gonna do that. Those things are lawful to eat.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Because they only eat vegetation. They don't eat other bugs and stuff like that. But Esau's gonna he won't keep anything pure. So he's gonna be mixing it. And they gave you a good demonstration of that in the movie Snowpiercer when they showed you the food where they were getting the protein blocks that looked like Jello. Mm-hmm. They were giving these sweet protein blocks for substance to eat. Yeah. But when you looked at the source where it was coming from, it was all sort of creepy crawly things. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just things that are righteous for us to eat. Right? Go ahead, let's get grab some of those scriptures.
You said 2 Ezra 13, what?
Yeah. When it comes to matter of fact, hold that one, Pops.
Micah.
Yeah, get the Micah, and then if somebody get Daniel 4:17.
Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields, take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Go ahead and expound on that.
All right, so yeah, they devils, man. all on their mind is just total wickedness, man. And they devise all types of devices. In this case, they distracting people with their bullshit. They shooting at so-called UFOs. Sometimes they coming up the Espartine situation. They coming up what's going on with the economy. And also they getting ready to see Esau got all his like I said, that pool got his all balls racked up and stuff. And he about to bring this last stage, this New World Order, man. He gonna bring up the Mox beat, man.
And that's what all these proxy wars are about.
Right.
Coveting and taking lands, but they're trying to set themselves up to be in a position where they can push forward in their plans.
That's right. And the end result is to have 100% total control. Isaiah the 14th chapter talks about them wanting to be as if they're God. So when they want to be as if they're the Heavenly Father, the Most High, they want to know where you are, what you're doing, what you're spending, every single aspect of your life. That's why the MOTTB that on your mark, get set, go, that they're going to put in your subdermis of your body. All right, that's going to track in your spending, your social credit score is going to be attached to it. Esau is pushing himself to be as if he can monitor everything, micromanage you in every single fucking way.
And if you're not down with a program, they just shut it off, shun you from society,
That's it.
demonize you, and all those things.
You can't buy yourself.
They might even put faces on billboards. I know that down in Mississippi, in certain parts of the South, when if a particular person owed a certain amount of child support, they put their faces up on billboards.
They gonna do it.
Shame them.
Yeah.
You know,
In China, they already have that.
so that's I mean, and with which and I shouldn't even say child support. I should have called it Title 4D. All right, you know, Esau loves to name something, give it a name to where it sounds like it's a noble cause.
Right.
You know, like they talk about life support. Well, we know that during a certain situation that everybody went on life support died. So it was the complete opposite of what they called it. But give me that Daniel 4:17,
This is Daniel 4:17. This matters by decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up one over it the basis of men.
So this basis, low-level piece of shit, all right, is ruling over the earth, and he's lost his wisdom is gone. You know, it's turning out he's not as smart as he is, and he's extremely sloppy. All right, that last great hoax, you know, was the situation with something that happened in New York where 3 buildings came down, and you know, they never talk about the third one for some strange reason, and they never talk about the fact that about the insurance policy that was solidified the day before it happened. And that part of the story is never told, but that story fell apart pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and then they use the power of their manipulating, lying mainstream media to override the truth, shame certain people who came. You had a lot of engineers came out. You even had the very guy who's certified to steal in those buildings. The guy who actually certified it, because you know on all those steel beams in all these buildings, all right, there's something called you got that UL. It means something laboratories.
Right.
I don't know what the U stands for, but it's something U laboratories, and all the beams that are there have to be certified. Right. And he certified those beams himself, and he came. That particular individual came out and said that there's no way that that would happen like that, because the beams would still be standing with all the rest of the building there, and the beams are gone.
Right.
So the only way you can make beams disappear is if something completely
blew it up.
You know,
and
completely, because fire and jet fuel and fire doesn't burn hot enough
to burst.
to burst. And if it did burn it and weaken it, that means it would have teeter-tottered, and you would have had gigantic high rises falling over into each other.
Exactly.
You would have had, you know,
Also that glass. Also the glass on those high rises, it'll be like punching a screen door. All right, because the metal of the airplane is it's basically soft. It's light. It's light. Right. So it's like a car windshield. You hit a car windshield, it shatters. It don't just break like that. It would have been like punching a screen door. It would have went straight through. It still had glass around. It didn't happen like that.
That's right. Exactly.
Also, I saw the video The guy went to only thing that was flying. The only thing that was flying, registered to fly that day was a military vehicle, and it was the military vehicle that got the projector on the bottom.
Well, all the
In
footage,
that area.
all the private footage that disappeared, just like the testimony of that particular engineer disappeared. There was footage from one of the the cameras you have them private residences, all those penthouses and shit. You had one of the building cameras pick the whole thing up, and it just shows you an explosion. It never showed anything. It just showed an explosion, and it showed it boom, 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 all the way down. It was a controlled demolition.
Exactly.
But yet they put that lie into the history books and teaching that bullshit to children, even though all the evidence is out. Contending against it.
And they started a whole war over that. Said the man had weapons of mass destruction, and they never found it.
And then
nobody talks about that.
And then he admitted that he never had it. But after you killed millions of people, took their houses, their land,
raped the house of gold.
You sent you send soldiers, you send snipers, murderers to go shoot people for defending their own house. All right. And then to cover up the fact that you just sent a man to shoot a man in his own house, in his own land, for defending his way of life, and he never had a weapon of mass destruction, then you make a movie about the guy who shot him and make him a hero.
Right.
So I went over there and shot people who were fighting to defend their way of life, or in some cases weren't fighting at all. All right.
You said people, but let's make it more graphic. They shot men, women, and children. All right. They blew up. They would blow up whole fucking parties. Hospitals even of men, women, and children.
It was a marriage. It was somebody getting married. And when the bombs came in and they walked the
hospitals.
Yeah.
That's a war crime.
Yeah, but they blew up plenty of hospitals. Man.
So these Westerners, man, especially Esau Edom, they make all these laws that they penalize and come against everyone else from that they violate every day, including the laws of their own land. All right.
So I'm just gonna use the date so Jake knows what it's about. But on September 10th of 2001, Donald Rumsfeld had reported that $2.3 trillion were missing.
Oh yeah.
On September 10th of 2001, Donald Rumsfeld.
How many trillions was missing?
2.3 trillion was missing from the Pentagon.
Wow.
This
How
was
many
on
billion
September
in a
10th.
trillion? How many billion in a trillion?
Oh, man, 1,000.
So that was missing from the Pentagon. And all of a sudden, the Pentagon gets, Yeah, so it's all a cover up. Just like, we're gonna read this second Ezra's pops. Now all of a sudden you got these people that like since Thursday or Friday, how many UFOs have they shot down now all of a sudden?
Allegedly.
So all of us alleged, right? Bullshit. So we've seen, we were just talking about the video of the missile that was traveling at 7,000, 5,000 to 7,000 miles per hour, and it's traveling along, and the chariot's flying around it. Zipped it like 3 or 4 times, and then zoomed off. And this thing is moving at 7,000 miles per hour. It made it look like it was standing still.
Exactly.
And so, how the hell are you going to shoot something like that? All right, you think you're going to shoot, because they want to make. I guess they're trying to make it think that this is some enemy that they can, how Murphy always say. Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith gonna smoke a stogie after they go up and fight all the the chariots and knock them all out the sky. No, you can't do that.
Here's what's funny about that. They went to the old synonym of unidentified flying object, where they didn't change the thing because of phenomenon.
So it
and all
wasn't a
that.
UAP anymore.
Right. Well, none of that. They want to use the one that everybody knows, so the narrative is clean as far as they're concerned. This is a UFO.
And not only that, you had all these pilots that came forth over the last couple of years, and the military itself came forth and said that the technology on these things are 1,000 years ahead of them. They won't stand a chance against them.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, you can shoot them out of the sky. That would be like, that would be like the technology. I was just watching watch that movie again. What was it? Prey.
Okay.
And and I watched it again, and I was like, this movie really is even better than what I thought it was. Yeah. But outside of the woman over the man, I was this one chick,
right.
This alien, wipes out a whole camp of Edomite hunters and trappers, kills about a good 10 Gadite braves.
Right.
But this one chick, defeats it. But anyway, with the help of her brother, of course, who dies, protecting her really. But the fact that that they showed you his technology and the tech, so the technology they had was so beyond what they could do, what they could even perceive. So we're talking about the entities. When you understand the scriptures, we're talking about the entities and the powers that created the very elements that every weapon on earth is made of, that everything on earth is made of. They were able to manipulate and move and change the elements. They were there in the beginning of creation. Now all of a sudden you're just gonna knock them out of the sky?
Hey, they say the chariots move so fast. They say they don't understand how, because there's micro particles in the atmosphere. The dust. They say a normal plane, they don't have an element on Earth that can withstand the friction from flying because it creates heat. So they say they can't. They don't have a material that can withstand.
It would pull apart, fall apart.
It's like sandpaper.
It would destroy it.
It would destroy it. It'd be going so fast. So they say it defies the laws of physics, according to Esau. But Esau truly don't understand physics, because all his shit is not facts. It's all hypothesis. It's guess. It's not facts. Esau don't really.
Well, that's
know
what his
science.
history and everything else.
Right.
Well, look, out there at the airport, there's a thing that was by C-16, documented the whole deal, where Chariot literally had everything, airspace, shut down for about 2.5 hours. When they decided to take off, because I worked with a guy that was out there, and when it took off, he saw it. He said it punched a hole in the clouds when it went up. It punched
So it went so fast.
It punched a hole in the clouds.
There it is, man.
Esau can't even do that shit, bro.
I'm read that Obadiah. Read that Obadiah. 1, 3, and 4. And then Pops, you gonna read that second
And this is from Kazakh Mani Howard, and he posted up Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh.
Yeah, so the Lord is about to bring Esau down, not the other way around. That's
right.
Right? If there was, if Esau was given the power to shoot down the chariots, he definitely would have did it already.
Of course.
He would have did it a long time ago. And they're, like I said, they're terrified of these things. Ever since they would have shot them down when they came and flew over the White House, which was a demonstration of they were
information.
They were showing their power. And then I'll never forget, last summer when what we saw. We saw at least 1,000 chariots
coming in and out of the port.
Appear, and then they went on a formation, and they would disappear. And then we get a frantic phone call from brothers in Kansas. They were seeing the other side of it.
Right.
So they were appearing out of nowhere in a straight line, about at least 1,000 of them. Then they disappeared.
Going to a portal.
And they disappeared, and then they popped out in Kansas. And the brothers in Kansas were seeing the same thing we were seeing.
Right.
So our faith it can't be shaken, man.
That's right.
And you're not going to stop these things. Pop, read that, Pop.
And this picture on the screen, this is from that, which was whoever quoted it. Somebody talked about it. Those chariots, the UFOs that was in Washington.
That's what he was talking about.
Go back in the 40s and 50s and so forth. This was posted in newspapers across the country, probably across the globe. After this has happened,
I'm willing to bet if you go into the archives in foreign lands that this image is going to pop up.
Yes, sir. And right after this, this right here, months after the institution of the United States Air Force happened, all right, these chariots came, and then they said, you know what, we're going to put these planes that we got commercial use, we're going to make an Air Force, and they were to fight the chariots, just as Donald J. Trump, when he was president, instituted a new branch, which is the 6th branch of the Army, which is the United States Space Force.
Right.
They're not here to worry about satellites and other motherfucking places. No, they're there. The Space Force was instituted to combat and try to fight the angelic chariots of the Heavenly Father.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
Let me get a preset. This is Psalms 9. I'm gonna get it in the New Living Translation. This is Psalms 9 and 19, starting at 19 NLT. It says, "Arise, O Yahweh, do not let mere mortals defy you. Judge the nations, make them tremble in fear, O Yahweh. Let the nations know that they are merely human."
That's right. And that's the book of Psalms. Psalms also says, what's that, 9 and 9 to 19 is let the nations know that they be nothing.
That's what they about to say. Yeah, that's what
Oh, okay. I
I
thought you
read
said
New
Living
Living.
Translation.
Yeah, I read New Living
Oh, I
Translation.
thought you said okay. So
I'll read it in the King
No,
James.
read the one you just read again.
Okay, this is Psalms 9, New Living Translation. Starting at 19, it says, "Arise, O Yahweh, do not let mere mortals defy you. Judge the nations, make them tremble in fear, O Yahweh. Let the nations know that they are merely human."
There you go, man. So the Lord is coming back as an angelic power, man. He said he's not going to greet thee as a man. All right. So like in the movie, it was Apocalypse. What was the other dude that came and put the smackdown on the Avengers? The dude with the ring.
Thanos.
Thanos. So both Thanos and Apocalypse are both a representation of Yahweh. Right? And you're not going to be able to fight them or stand against them, man. A man came and snapped his finger, killed half the people.
Bring it out.
Disappeared, you know?
That's right.
Right. It's like, right. What you gonna do to that, man? Man, just what y'all talking shit? But it'll make me.
They was struggling.
But that's the scripture. But that's right. Sirach, it says the Lord can destroy this whole place with one rough word, man. And we go back into the time when King David had counted the people. The Lord sent the death angel out. That one angel could have destroyed the whole planet, man.
Like we was talking about it online yesterday. You know, with spiritual power, you don't gotta take cover. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta go. You know,
You don't need to push your deflector.
Right.
Star Trek deflector shields.
Cloaking
shields
inactivated. There will be no casualties. You know what I'm saying? On the side of the spiritual men. You know what I'm saying? Those with spiritual power.
Who's
Not one casualty.
Yeah, we ain't gotta dig fighting holes and set up areas. You know, none of that, man.
Right.
Know the difference between cover and concealment.
Right. You know, so these guys are just full of crap. And let's go ahead and read that, and we're gonna play that video. What I think they might be distracted from, and then I want those two short videos to play as
So
well.
where you want me to start at here?
Started right when Yahweh Shai just start whooping their ass.
Okay. I'm gonna start at 6 then, but second Ezra 13 start 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not.
So that what he just read, you know, take into mind the image of those gigantic chariots that showed up in the
Father
Will Smith movie that we were talking about.
Right.
When they showed up Independence Day and they came through and it looked like the clouds were on fire because of the burn and the fire and the amber. You know, all of a sudden these gigantic ships, the Lord is coming back that way. Revelation 7 tells you he left on a cloud, he's going to return on one, and the whole world is going to mourn. The nations are going to mourn. They're not going to rejoice. They're not going to be clapping, you know, spraying confetti, and everybody in the street cheering with their flags, with their nation flags. You know, no, that's not, no.
And Randy Quaid ain't gonna show up either in that
In this little
crop duster.
right.
Well, what's the missiles attached to the bitch? You know what I'm saying? We
It was crazy. In the second movie, like in the second movie, like it showed you that they actually bigger. The cherry was bigger.
The size of a plant.
It was the size of It was a planet size.
Well, you know, the Elder Karab has this T-shirt that I like that he wears, you know, in the summer. that Death Star,
Yeah.
and the Death Star was the size of a planet.
Absolutely.
Because the people, that's what how they disguise it. Because no one thought it was a ship. They thought it was a damn. It was just another planet sitting out the other planet. It's like, hold on,
Yeah.
right?
Because it looked like a moon.
So there it is, man. So it's a damn planet, man. All right, and
And they got that
Esau
straight
has
from the
admitted that they seen planet-sized chariots out there. So what makes you think it would? You know what? But the average American is dumb as hell, and all they were worrying about was the Super Bowl and Vulcan and Islam's fight last night. That was that's the distractions, man.
Yep. KD got traded to Phoenix Suns.
So there you go.
Now here's the King interim champion. Nobody knew.
Okay.
I got something for you too. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 7. But I would have seen the regional place where out the hill was greater than I could not. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid.
So those are the armies of the earth, because they're all going to stop fighting each other and come together to try to stop the Lord. All right, go ahead.
Via Ronald Reagan, wouldn't it be something if we all had to stop fighting against
Clinton
each
gave
other?
the same speech.
Right, exactly.
Clinton gave that speech too.
Right, and go in on and come together. Okay, together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet does fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
So this is not conventional warfare.
Shit.
This is not going to be no guns, Homo sapiens and your guns.
Yeah.
All right. It's not going to be any so-called missile from and these guns. This is chariot fire. All right. This is the mouth of the chariot's going to open up, and fire and brimstone is going to come run out of that mouth. Out of the opening, which is why they call it the mouth, which is basically the opening of the chariot.
Which is the same fire that rained down on
Sodom and Gomorrah, and the other three cities.
Yeah,
right. And the other, I forgot the name.
And they show you in when
I think it was 5 cities.
It's 5 cities.
5 cities altogether, yeah.
and they say that the ground get pushed off. They say all the bones that they find in the city, they all charred, and they all pushed off to the corners of the city. They say it's like a
Something came down, boom,
Right.
and blew it all out.
and it pushed everything out.
Well, listen, it's a power that's coming that's going to have every knee bow.
It's gonna find you just like the damn Death Star.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
And it's gonna be such a power. It's gonna have every single knee bow and every tongue confess that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is the true and living power.
That's right, brother.
The only true and living power. That is the power that's coming to where everyone is gonna acknowledge, like, well, we can't do nothing about this.
Yep.
We can't do nothing with this.
They all gotta bow and tap.
Right.
They gotta all
Tap. Yep.
You got it, Lord.
That's it.
The ultimate fighter, though, and that's why Exodus 15:3 says that the Most High is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. A true fighter.
bow
is
to
ultimate.
me.
That's it.
Tap.
That's it.
Right.
And they will. That's why I like Psalms the 18th chapter. He says, when they hear me, they will obey me. Right? As soon as they hear, once they see the power and understand the power of the Lord, every knee will confess and bow and give credence to Yahweh.
See, and the elect is doing that now. See, it took the word, of Yahweh Yahweh Shai to get the elect to tap out and to bow down, and to serve Yahweh Yahweh Shai. It took the word. And just like the Apostle Gabar always go into that saying, when words can't teach, adversity will.
Absolutely.
And it's the adversity that Yahweh Yahweh Shai is coming with that's going to have everyone else tap out and bow down and realize that, this is truly the living power that controls all, whose will is being done every day. All right? That's when all the Allahs and the Buddhas and the Hare Krishnas and the Jesus and all them other Ahs, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, oh shit, we made them up. You know what I'm saying?
Those
They
are
shit.
bars right there.
That's it.
Shit, most of Elon already threw their idols in the street.
You know what? You're right, but at the same time, after things calm down, they wouldn't pick that bitch back up and find some new ones and put
I'm
that.
sorry.
Exactly, and put them back. They got the idols right back up in there right now.
Right.
Just like that Jesus Pizza in Brazil got hit by lightning. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, if it was damaged, whatever, they'll send crews up there to fix it and polish it and get it back to how it.
I hope that never happens.
Man, me too.
But go ahead and finish that.
Okay,
brother.
all right.
Finish that out.
And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword.
Speak a little.
Okay. And lo, as he saw the voice of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lip a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together.
Which is where they stole this scene, you know, when the Death Star would fire and destroy whole planets. All right, it would destroy whole planets and anyone who opposed them. All right, it would open up his mouth and that death ray would come out. You know, and it was over.
And it was built in a place like you see here in Exodus 13 that no man can ever see. It was from outer space.
It's gonna come out of the father's house. From my father's house, there are many mansions. We had this gigantic vehicle that comes out of the
Pulls out of the garage.
Right, so exactly. And it's gonna come handle that business. All right.
That's right.
Then it's gonna let out a whole bunch of small ones, just like this one did,
Right.
that come and do damage, you know.
It's a planet-sized ship.
So so that's why the whole world is gonna see him when he comes, man. Right? And they did pretty much acknowledge to you in your media and different platforms that this exists. Well, was that all on that, Pops?
Nope.
Okay, go ahead.
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they came and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude.
Wait. He said it was an innumerable multitude.
Can't count it. Can't count it.
Right? And
Right.
then what?
Multitude. Nothing was to be perceived.
So after just a instance, you know what I'm saying? It was just there, an innumerable multitude prepared to fight, ready, battle armed, and everything. And then in another instance,
Nothing.
nothing.
And they had the latest everything. Every ship, every tank, every missile,
drone,
every soldier, they had the latest.
the mosquitoes, they sent them out.
The mosquito drones. There's drones. They got drones the size of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So they had the mosquito size and the gigantic.
And the gigantic
Gigantic
that can
ones.
go in your car and blow up like we seen on the videos. They brought out the
Everything. The king
kitchen,
caboodle.
the kit and caboodle.
The kitchen sink, and it didn't help them.
That's right.
And so you are going to go and just shoot down 3 of these and
That's it. Because I ain't had nothing better to do.
Secondly,
Yeah, right.
right.
But okay, let me finish.
what a maroon.
Okay.
Now, why was I thinking about the turtle in the hair? And then you said that. So go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Because despite what you think, man, a tortoise is never going to be the head of race.
Right. An innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
You're going to smell like singed hair.
Hey.
That's what you're going to smell like. But all this lies about the shooting down the UFOs, I believe that this is one of the reasons they're trying to distract from this story coming out. And you got something on this story as well, right?
Oh, I just got the proof that it's from a reference.
Okay,
Reverend
then
voice.
I want
Well,
you to
we keep
read
that
it
too.
after we play it.
You ready? All right.
Feed footage.
Roll that beautiful beam footage. Tell me that. Just turn it on. Make sure it's good. Rolling.
Maybe this is why we're seeing so much hype about UFOs. Jeffrey Epstein docs with names of associates to be made public report. I think it's like 160 names. The
160
documents are expected to contain the names of Prince Andrew and other associates. Maybe this is why we're seeing so much hype about UFOs. Jeffrey Epstein docs with names of associates to be made public report. I think it's like 160 names. The documents are expected to contain the names of Prince Andrew and other associates.
Okay, you can stop it right there. Now we heard a list before, and it has some very well-known celebrities, including some Jakes and some former presidents and White House officials.
Saxophone playing presidents.
You know, and you know, a very popular rap duo, husband and wife. Go ahead, brother.
Well, this is it's from Fox News with the same title as the video show. Jeffrey Epstein docs with names of associates to be made public.
Send it so you can put it up on the screen. Oh, there it is. He got it.
Uh-huh.
And it's in the New York Post. All right, go
Fox
ahead.
News.
Yep.
And New York Post too.
Yep.
Okay, we'll read them both. But go ahead, read yours, St. Benji.
The last batch of documents with the names of those associated with the deceased financier Epstein will be unsealed in the near future, according to media reports. Which it doesn't change.
Why they seal it in the first place?
Right, and also they released documents before that had names on there. Nothing happened to these people. Right. Nothing has happened. When you got these documents in the public, what does that change? They still free. They still do what they want to do.
Still on their TV shows, still making music, still walking around freely.
Yeah. Hey,
it goes to show you that there is no the justice system is a joke. I mean, if it weren't, you know, I would have already my case would have been over 3 years ago. I wouldn't have a ongoing open lawsuit against a fraudulent, you know, government organization that just get left sitting for 3+ years.
As the saying goes, the justice system isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. Fuck us over. Yep. It's the word system means pit. That's why this place is called the system. It's just to be a trap for us, the Israelites. Isaiah 10:1, you know, to oppress the poor of my people. That's who it's for.
Okay, check the New York Post. That's Fox too.
They refer to alleged perpetrators or those accused of serious wrongdoing, as well as law enforcement officers and prosecutors. Oh, it says these documents are expected to contain the names of associates, victims, and employees connected to Epstein. So yeah, they found all these victims' names.
There you go. And I've been waiting for Ghislaine Maxwell to just end up committing suicide.
Didn't she get a plea deal?
Yeah, but I expect her to get, you know, to be unalive.
Oh.
I don't see her living. But you're not going to be allowed to know what she knows and walk around.
Right.
You know, to have that kind of information on you, you know, against you know, presidents, royal members, and you know, that whole sort of thing. High level celebrities, warlocks, and witches. You're not going to be able to walk around because that's why they got because Epstein was one of them. Exactly. But when he got compromised, they had to get rid of him. You know, I'm sure if they could have, you know, made it go away without offing him, but he had already, you know, been exposed once, and they protected and shielded him. But the second time around, they couldn't hide it. You know. So they just unalived his ass.
And you see how it says Bill Gates met with Jeffrey Epstein a number of times, but in Mexico was a huge mistake.
Yeah, after he bust on all these underage people,
a number of times,
did all kind of wicked shit to them. All right.
After he serenaded them with a saxophone.
Right. And fed them bugs.
Right.
It's like Ghislaine Maxwell. She said that Epstein didn't commit suicide. So
of course not.
Well, it was obvious. It was you know, if you really have the eyes to see, it was beyond obvious that he didn't.
Right, absolutely.
It's damn near impossible to commit suicide while you in custody.
It's right.
They take your fucking shoestrings. They take everything.
That's right. And he said it before he got arrested.
Yeah.
He said it with his wife. He said, "Look, if we out here, we went out to the boonies. Hopefully, nobody can find us. But if they do, know that I will never kill myself." He has a whole video saying that he would never kill himself.
Oh, that one guy,
Yeah.
Big Gap, yeah.
You know, he said, "I would never kill
maybe
myself."
he knew the Pi made 5-step death heart touch thing. I don't know, man. You know, maybe he did it and then walked off, took his 5 steps, and died honorably or something. I don't know, man. You know,
the sleight of hand.
some bullshit, man. But there's a couple of videos that brother sent related to the subject matters that we've been speaking on. If you could bring those up.
It was
Because Esau's looking very, very suspect, as usual.
And this is one of their pilots. He basically goes on these different alien conventions, and he starts with disclosing that he don't believe in so-called Martians. He said, but I was in one of those jets, and I've seen the capacity, the speed, the technology is nowhere near anything.
And they probably saying that it was so-called black looking.
Right. And
Well, there was another astronaut that gave that testimony that he made it very clear. No, they were like black guys.
He said they
were
black.
gigantic.
That was black.
So they were like 9 feet tall, you know.
And he made sure he explained what he meant by black, like niggas.
That's
Not
it.
like some dark figures, though. He made sure it was understood. They were like black people.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Right.
yeah, but he was
a shack.
he was one of them who's who when it comes to physics
Yes.
and the whole deal.
He was a big name, so
Yes,
you know.
exactly.
And
It's like
he
if
wasn't
you want to know,
senile.
Exactly.
He was
If you-
an older guy, but he was very well in his wits.
exactly. If you want to know about this is the guy you go ask.
Well, just
Okay.
like that one engineer, but the UL laboratories that certified
Right.
steel in those buildings. Notice I said those buildings are not exactly what they were. Right. But go ahead, brother.
This is the one that Ariella put up. It's a couple more, but I'm gonna start with this one.
Underwriters. It's
Underwriters Laboratories.
Exactly.
The one.
Underwriters.
UL Laboratories means Underwriters Laboratories.
Right.
For those of you who are taking notes.
The men's and women's soccer teams are finally being paid
All
equal.
right, so I'm sorry for the ad.
Finally equal.
Let's achieve pay equity for everyone.
That's crazy.
Lead the way.
You know how much those women soccer players actually bring in? It's crazy. They get a higher percentage of the revenue that comes in for the soccer league than the men do. I was looking at a report, an article on that like the other day. The men get a smaller percentage of all that money they bring into the women. What do you mean?
But it's equal. Okay.
Not only that,
And then you got a professional soccer team got beat by some high school
Schoolers.
Yeah.
Professional female soccer team.
And an entire squadron had 12 airplanes and 330 people. This is mine. This is what we typically flew at night. You can see these little brackets here. November 14th, 2004. It's a clear blue sky. There's no wind. And you see this tic tac. It's just this white object that's randomly moving around. It makes the hair on the back end stand. I remember telling the back seater, I said, dude, I don't know about you, but I'm a little weirded out. It's not a helicopter. It doesn't have rotor wash. There's no propulsion. There's no wings. It rapidly accelerates and disappears. Like, weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. I chased the UFO.
See ya.
And I like to just crawl back under a rock and be myself again. Yes.
Scared but does fight.
In McMinnville, Oregon, this weekend. I have not been in public about this. I have no idea what to expect. I'm fine with people's fascination as long as you just leave me alone. I'm not that kind of person. We've experienced some things ourselves.
Hey, we can't fix that shit.
In 3
It's
years.
HBO.
I've seen
Right.
them, and I've seen orbs
I've seen
Well,
stationary
actually, we can
lights.
stop it right there.
Something.
Yeah, 'cause
Stop right
they'll
there.
hit it. They'll
Yeah.
yeah.
Put a
I thought
play
it
on.
was a shorter clip. Yeah, but nevertheless, that was enough info. You know, what he saw was he basically let you know that he had never seen anything like it in his life.
In his fight life,
and he was in the F-18,
right?
And it just outran him and with no propulsion, with no noise, no sound, and just scooted off and disappeared.
Yeah, people got to understand that, like you said.
And his co-pilot saw it too.
Right. So y'all got to understand, he's up here flying around, moving around at about 600, 700, 800 miles an hour and whatnot. And this thing is jumping around in his motherfucking viewfinder. Like he's sitting still, like it's a Pong machine and one of them old fucking Ataris or some shit. Okay? This, and then it takes off like it did. So what you just saw, when it took off to the left, if he's moving at about 600, 700 miles an hour, just floating around and flying, that means that took off at about 3,000 miles an hour.
At least.
So isn't it
from a seat? It didn't build up. It just did it.
Gone.
And then no sound.
And no sound. No nothing. No waste. No sonic boom. Nothing.
I got a precept.
That's good.
This is Isaiah 31. It says, "Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together."
Well, quick point on that. It says their horses are not spirit. He saw everything he uses. His technology, everything is all man-made. It's not spirit. It's not. There's no living spirit in it that does it, man. And the Heavenly Father, all right, the angels, all they're spirits, and even their technology is spiritual. And just real quick, Ezekiel 1, and I'm gonna get to the point. I'm gonna start at 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and they four had one likeness. And their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So a chariot, look at a picture of a circular object, side of a circular object, right? When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them, and when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels lifted up. I skipped verse 17. I read it. I forgot to mention it. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned out when they went. The chariots don't even got to turn. They don't have to make turns, none of that. They just go whichever direction they want to go.
They want to go in, right?
Left, right, back, forth.
Instantaneous.
Yeah. And it said they followed what the angel that was controlling. Wherever the angel went, have it moved with it. Up, down, left, right, full. Yeah, everything. We're dealing with the Father of spirits, man.
That's right.
All right. He has physical vehicle because he wants to. He's the Lord. He made visible things for a reason. We live in a visible world. He's showing off his power visibly for you.
Flexing.
It's that simple.
Flexing.
And some of them made of gold. That's in Psalms.
Say, Mitch, I'm going to read this disclaimer for that real quick. Just try to protect it. This is the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in the favor for fair use. So just wanted to read that because we played
educational purposes.
From Vice News on HBO in case they try to stop that action.
Yeah.
So we threw it out there. We used our fair use card. Go ahead, brother, continue.
This is verse 21. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. So the chariots follow exactly where the angels went, just by the spirit, man.
Well, they look or think, these things, and and we don't have any technology like that. You know, it even showed you that. Now think about it. And then I mentioned the Predator. Is the technology that he has, anything he looks at, it fires at what he's looking at.
Right.
How you gonna miss?
It's like an extension.
Hey,
You know, it's like how you gonna miss? I don't have to aim and breathe and take my time and hold my breath and squeeze and control my breath. I just look at something and it fires on it. I look at something that fires on it.
He think about it and it just.
Hey, or you think about it. You're right. And if you understand anything about firearms, that's beyond amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he don't go much. The rest of the video is him just going in, basically going in front of those conventions. He says, "All I do is speak my testimony. I don't deviate to all that in it because then Esau gets
He's
in
just
there,
telling what he
makes it
saw.
weird." And
As a matter of fact, bring up the other.
Okay, but yeah, like you were saying,
the one right under.
like you were saying, everything being what it was. They even showed you that in Thor's Ragnarok, how when Valerie came out and she started clicking these things together, the motherfucking the ship itself started doing the same shit, and she mowed everybody down with it, and this, that, and other. So the technology is hooked was hooked to her the same way the technology is hooked to the angels that's inside.
Hey, like, that's even like the cherry we seen over the house that day. You remember the other?
Yeah.
Hit me out the mountain. Remember the cherry we seen over the house that was like water moving? And I zoomed in on it.
Yeah.
How could you fight something like that? You know, I mean that really can shape shift and move and grow bigger, grow smaller.
Hey, look, one of the things that got my professor to believing in this word so quickly is because he had seen the cherry. You know, and he had no explanation for what was going on.
That's it.
And when I broke it down and read it in the Bible, he was right then and there. He was like, "That's it."
That's what I saw.
Because he was at the lakefront. He used to live on the lakefront, and you know he lived in a high-rise apartment on the lakefront up north. And he and his son was on the balcony, and they saw the cherry go down into Lake Michigan,
right,
and then come back out, and then zoom off. And you know, his son was like, you know. Well, you know, he's like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "That wasn't no plane, son.
Right.
Planes don't go into the water.
They don't
come back out.
They come back up and then fly off. You know,
right.
They just don't do that. So
right.
you know, so when I started reading about, you know, the reading it to him in the scriptures, the look on his face, you know, it was like, because it
It's already here.
It resonated. He was like, "Well, shit, I saw that. You reading that book that was written all them years ago,
Exactly.
and it says that in there.
That's it. That's
Shit, but then whenever you say we Israelite, well, shit, then we are.
That's funny you say it like that.
When you see it, you know.
That's one of the reasons why Pops and you brothers say you're a problem. Why he was cool. He saw a chariot when he was a young man at 16 that he told me and my brother Yak before we came into the truth, and we was like, "Oh, Pop's crazy," you know, and we just dismissed
Y'all was
it.
smoking that day.
Right. As soon as we came into the truth, and then we started remembering the stories Pops would talk about, the chariot that came down over the tree, and when we started, you know, asking him and saying that it's in the Bible, he opened up when he would never opened up before. And y'all just mentioned earlier about my Uncle Lee. To this day, my Uncle Lee, if you ask him, he'd be like, "What you talking about?" Like he has no idea.
He don't want to.
And my dad would say that he didn't want to talk about it. But my dad would he did too. He put himself in and stopped talking about it because
think you crazy.
People think you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? But then when we start reading the scriptures, like that's in the Bible, then he was like, yeah. It to the point where every time the apostles, the elders, or whatever come, we would tell him, and he would sit out there and tell them the whole story, the whole breakdown, because he felt comfortable.
That was right before you was born, huh?
It was actually a couple years before I was born. Yeah. Which made me think that was the spirit, you know, setting that out.
Yeah. Now you never know.
Oh, my brother got it.
You know what? You gonna have to do it. This ain't gonna even give it give it
The
a
credence, right.
credence. Y'all need to do a sit down.
Me and you got to go sit
Yeah,
down.
y'all need to do a sit down and use that footage, man. I didn't know y'all had that.
I
I
remember this now. I forgot about it.
Yeah, that needs to be a lesson, man. Go ahead.
When he was about to mention it, my brother was like, "Oh boy, here we go." He was like, I say." Like even though how he's telling, I'm telling you, I've seen the UFO right there. You know, it was like, and he said, "You gonna say it right there?"
Just like when we saw,
Right.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
go ahead and play that, brother.
because he would express it to the elders in the midst who were coming to town, and when you see someone recall a story,
You do that lesson, send it to me.
kind of from their heart and their spirit and their soul and the passion, you can't help but believe them because it's like you can see the recall in their mind, right?
Yeah, versus somebody just making some shit up.
Right. They can't keep it.
Then the
They can't
story
keep
is
it
the same
straight.
every time it's told.
Right. They can't keep it straight.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, you see that on like a lot of these people who say they seen something, they really don't come out about it because everybody they tell, people
It's
mock
just
them,
like
they
people
say
who
they're
have,
crazy.
it's just like people who have encounters with demons and
spirit.
entities.
They put them in the crazy house.
They don't want to talk about it because they sound crazy. All right. So coming into this truth, man, a lot of things made sense. I mean, hell, there was some weird shit that happened in my house with my sisters when we was little, man. I never forget that shit. You know, my sisters had a room together. My youngest sister and my sister is just over me, and they had the twin beds in their room, and my baby sister bed was next to the wall, and my older sister bed was the one away from the wall, and I just remember, and my room was off the living room. My room was up front, so I like that. I could sneak in and go right to my room. Nobody never. But I just remember laying in bed, and I just saw the lights blinking, just like blink, like some just blinking, and they screaming, and they both came tearing their ass out of their room and ran to my room. So I'm like, what the hell going on? And what happened was my little sister. I take it back. My older sister bed was next to the wall. My little sister's bed was in the open. And my older sister told my sister to stop kicking her bed. And my little sister's getting mad because he said, I'm not kicking your bed. He said, girl, so I'm trying to go to sleep. Stop kicking my bed. And she's like, I'm not kicking your bed. And I can hear them like going back and forth. And next thing I hear the screaming because what happened, then that's when the light started flicking, just like flicking really fast. And they both came running up to my room. I'm like, what? I'm gonna get up, box a demon with? No, anyway, but what happened was my sister, the thumping that was going on in her bed, it started thumping on the side of the wall, and she knew that my sister wasn't over there, and it freaked her the fuck out. And that's when she got scared and she charged out of the room. All right, and so we prayed in the wrong name, of course, and there was some weird ass idol. That my father had found, some African shit. And we took that shit, threw it out, and it never happened again. It never happened again. But so when things like that happen, sometimes people they hesitate to talk about it because they don't want to sound like they nuts. But let's play this Baba Kushak.
All right, con.
So this is Southern Purple 1. And the U.S. Army just released some information in regards to 2 secret weapons. And these weapons are the first time ever they've ever had them. And it's very important because we have the looming threat of World War III. We have the threat with China, Russia, North Korea, Iran. We have maybe aliens overhead. We're shooting down things out of the sky. 3 of them, to be exact. 1 being a balloon and 2 being unidentified yet. So the Army thought they needed some secret weapons. And they have finally hired 2 rappers, and these are the first rappers we've ever had in the U.S. Army, I think, probably in the U.S. military. They did their auditions for the Army in 2021 before they went to basic training. They completed basic training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and now they are official rappers. That's their job. They're to make up raps to increase morale, increase recruitment.
This guy's a hoax.
They are probably assigned with the band.
Pause it.
We have an official band.
Come on,
Pause it. this shit is funny. But the southern, no, this guy does really good research. And he don't fuck around. He don't like to talk about shit that he can't back up. So can somebody please search, find, and see if they can find anything on this? But let him play it. So they hired rappers to boost morale. So what they gonna put him on a loudspeaker and they gonna rap to the chariot? They gonna be like that dude and the dude playing the grunge metal and the Swifty on the damn in the Road Warrior movie. They go into battle heat. While they all driving and shit. You got your what the fuck, man? Are you serious?
Oh, you know what? And honestly, though, in history, we have known that Esau has always put Jake in there to boost morale. Esau knows who Jake is, but not through the spirit, though. But he thinks that he can get something done through the Most High on that side. But he don't know that these niggas that he's enlisted in his army for rapping, and just like Sugar Ray Robinson back in the day, they enlisted him in there.
Ali was supposed to be just a boost morale.
Ali said, "I ain't going to fight for these."
So it's legit. Bring it out, brother.
Oh!
So because we, trying to hold back laughing, because these niggas gonna rap their way to the battle. So they gonna rap to you as you getting suited and booted. That's right. So while you putting on your battlements, these niggas is.
We go on the wall. Sugar Ray Robinson,
go on the wall with his new song. We're gonna go on the wall, get your gun on. That's stupid.
God damn. It really is over.
In future.
Send that to him so he can put this shit up. This is Esau's defense. Two third-ass niggas rapping against the Chariots.
Hey. When he get ready to face his deadliest enemy ever.
And he just said World War III is looming. China, Russia, Iraq, Iran, North Korea,
all that shit's going on.
Whoever else,
They trying to rap.
And these niggas, they recruited
secret weapons.
Secret weapons is Jake
rapping.
And looked like they was in the uniforms that they actually wearing. And what's that one military school that's so prestigious? West Point. They look like that on West Point uniforms.
What the fuck? They gonna have a rap battle with the
We're not talking about
right. They gonna have a rap battle.
We're gonna decide the fate of the world with a rap battle.
The biggest fight that Esau's getting ready to square off. And like you said, his left-hand side thought process has fucking left him. Okay?
So what happens if they raps get whacked?
Oh my God, this is so funny.
All right, well let's see this shit. No, you can't make this. This is nuts.
This is an episode of Rick and Morty.
Is this right here, right? Yeah, that's it, brother.
This really an episode of Rick and Morty.
Mark in, bro.
That's by the G.O.D. No other pay.
Two staff sergeants.
This shit funny as fuck.
Shit, the Jericho found lace on
I'd rather be
that.
expected from Washington, D.C. By the way, too, Scott.
And not even good.
Now they don't want to play. Yeah, they suck, actually.
And they shop and cover you.
They're not even walking in unison. They some horrible soldiers.
Baggy ass army pants.
Hey, D, everybody put your hands to the sky. Ready?
This is shit.
It's so late. The Wi-Fi.
D, we had a dream. Oh, high. Here to make a difference. A mission on both.
You should be ashamed of this shit and don't want it to play.
They got hired.
Scott Lane to say hi.
Shemai, let's see.
I'm Staff Sergeant Nicholas Peterson. I'm Staff Sergeant Lamar Riddick. And we're here to make history.
That shit was weak as fuck.
Let me see if I can get bars.
Wow.
We gotta hit a full rap so we can get in the end.
Those should be prisoners of wars.
This is legendary stupidity, man.
Exactly.
This is
absolutely.
But you know what? Read that Daniel 4:17 again. And no more wisdom.
Daniel 4:17.
And then get the Isaiah 14 and 11. I mean, they got to get clowned for this, man.
This is Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men.
So these low-level dumb motherfuckers gonna rap their way through World War III in a fight with the chariots. All right, get the next one, Bashar. You got one? Bring it out.
Yeah,
bro.
because essentially Esau's doing this. Go real quick, right? Let me read that quote real quick. Basically, Esau want to change his image for the army and shit because they need more recruits. They need people to live the spirit of the troops, and they need more recruits. But this is prophecy. This is on 2 and 5. He shall recount his worthies. They shall stumble in their walk. They shall make haste to the wall thereof, and the defense shall be prepared. Esau, and what made Esau great? How did America get empowered? How did Esau get empowered with a sword? So they geared up for war. They need troops. Nobody signed up for that shit, man. They recount their words. They trying to do anything to get people in this.
Well, then it softened everybody up. Pushed this alphabet lifestyle and estrogen on all these soft ass men. All right.
Now they got a bunch of bitches. In
Exactly.
No, two niggas might be sodomites.
You know.
Hey, and that's the scripture said that. That was the other one I was getting. Jeremiah 51 and 30. Basically, this is Jeremiah 51. I'm gonna start 20. Start 28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow. So these nations are getting ready to actually fucking fight. They've been increasing their weaponry. North Korea showed off
a new missile.
The new missiles, which even America had to say, well, this shit look legit. They've been downplaying North Korea for a minute. Now they gotta accept that. Now these motherfuckers turned up. They strong now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
The mighty men, and the land shall tremble in sorrow for every purpose of the Lord to be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. This place will be dust. All right, this will be dust. The Lord is going to perform what He said. Esau, nothing you do. They got to boost morale, so they got rappers. They probably faking this damn UFO shit to cover up shit, and also to say, well, we do have a chance to fight. We shot down a couple UFOs.
Exactly. That's what the fuck that's about.
And they got to try, right?
Yeah.
But then verse 30 says what? The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. End of the day, these motherfuckers are weak. They not ready. They not ready to fight. They thinking about rapping and becoming famous. So after they serve a little couple years, get out, buy their Challenger, have a decent little career. You know, that's the people. Hey, that's the few that still sign up. Only sign up for that damn Challenger. Yeah. All right. Or Charger, they want one or the other. It's always the same.
Yep.
Rarely the Camaro. That's what they want, man.
Yeah.
One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. And so this place is true. You're going to be overthrown. This land is going to be invaded. These heathens are going to come fuck you up. And in the midst of all of that, all right, this great world war, the Lord is going to come interrupt and blast different parts of earth with thermonuclear fire.
Yes.
Predominantly Israel and America, man. The land of Israel.
That's it, man. These motherfuckers are. I'm ashamed to have served in the military from one standpoint already, and this is just turned into an absolute fucking joke. And then some.
Hey, Pops. Hey, it's crazy that you said that because on TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Actually, it's what Benji said. They actually had a thing where they asked people why you joined the army. And a lot of them did say, like, oh, for a Challenger or a Charger.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, well, that's what I said. When
I have to watch really spirit. Me and Rala dealt with on the train, was doing a train ministry. We had dealt one of them niggas, man. He got cut, and of course that's what he did.
Well, like I said,
they showed the Mexican. They're like, "Wait, the Rodriguez, when'd you join the military?" I really just wanted to get my papers. And they say it as a joke, but Jake really didn't have. I remember when the army recruits were at school. The only people that had to join the army were like the piss poor Edomites that weren't gonna go to college. So they were like, "Oh, we're gonna serve America and shit." There,
Right.
ass teeth and shit. They're the only ones that.
Hey.
Yeah,
Everybody else has shit to do.
they go get their teeth fixed.
Exactly.
They get
Exactly.
to travel, and
Right.
they get to kill people that are brown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Over the last few years, the Army has show different things for you to join. One of them is we'll pay your college, we'll do this. I remember a commercial like a bitch, she wants to be a doctor or something. So our solution was join the Army.
I remember the National Guard, Army Reserve.
Yeah.
Which means these are not warriors. This
Yeah.
America's
Yeah.
America.
Employees.
These troops are not ready to fucking
No,
fight.
because they're there for alternatives. They're not diehard, you know, like them guys that ran off to World War II and World War One.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Patriotic.
They're not that.
They don't have that mindset.
Right.
Then another thing that makes America so weak is that American Army is full of females. And
Exactly.
when you
Absolutely.
look at the amount of fails and things that happen and how they have to
Right.
tone down the standards just for them to finish
Make
a
it.
boot camp.
Make it
The
through.
shit that they cannot do. And it's going to show you an example. I don't know if this is American military, but the same shit happens there. I've seen quite a few fails.
Right.
Hey,
Woman King is a movie. When you go to the actual history of that mission,
that's the whole
those
story.
women that were part of the fighters, they were there for
Literally.
sexual favors. And you can look it up.
Right. Right.
And they got destroyed. And they got taken down. And it's like, if your end result is that you're taking down, why is Earth the Nationalist proud? Why the fuck you can get? I don't care if you had one military victory where you actually did something in one victory, but then you got killed in the next one. You're obliterated.
You was 0-16. I mean 1-16.
He was like,
Right. One game.
1-16, and they didn't get
Make
nowhere.
a movie about that one win.
That one win.
The losing season.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing.
Oh no, they made the training video great. Like you trained so hard.
Right.
They lost 16 in a row.
But like Malcolm was saying, but like Malcolm was saying though, and they, like I said, the recruit and what they're able to draw from now is nowhere near what it used to be. Like I didn't go in the military because I wanted to be in the military. In 81, 82, just wasn't no jobs. But you had somebody that played ball and did all this other kind of shit, and this and that. So it's like, okay, now once you throw me in a hot situation, my back is against the wall, and I'm physically fit. I can do this shit.
That they're not fitting.
Exactly.
That's another thing. So not only do they most people now watch this crazy shit.
Okay, I was just waiting for you to catch up.
She's supposed to throw it over the wall.
Exactly.
All right, over the wall. All right, and the wall is lower than she is. So
Oh my
that's-
god.
Yeah. What the?
Come on.
How do you fuck?
All right, ready?
Bruh. Don't play it, brother. It's just fucking up.
Showed her how to unpin herself.
Oh my god.
It didn't make it over the wall.
That bitch.
God damn.
Wow.
And this is a live exercise.
A live grenade, baby.
This bitch.
This is actually funnier than the last.
He threw her ass down.
They bounced against the wall.
He tossed the.
He literally saved her dumb ass
He
life.
actually threw it there.
Toxic masculinity.
Woo! Because if they wouldn't have made it, then he was just out of range.
Yeah, that shrapnel would have got that.
If they were, And then that grenade she threw is a weaker.
But you can throw underhand and make
It's a baseball.
Look, the wall is about 3 foot high. She's about 5 foot tall.
It's right in front of her.
She could have dropped it over the motherfucking wall.
Dumbass.
I think that's a laugh exercise. Why haven't they rehearsed that? Practice, drilled with that?
She did. They didn't show you the part. She did. They had dummies.
They had dummies that she threw over the
They
wall.
just showed you the part when they actually went live and they happened to catch this. Yeah, they don't. You just don't go up there. You get a whole class. You get a whole class of practice run.
Of throwing this motherfucker.
So she just went, got freaked out. Whatever the fuck she did, she don't belong there.
At all.
Because she almost killed 3 people.
She didn't even run her damn self.
Then she stood there. Because the first one I saw was the same thing. The grenade, the grenade landed, and the grenade didn't go off.
He
And
tossed
she
her.
set it on the wall, and the guy told her she threw it, and it was just on the other side of the wall. It didn't go far enough, and the dude told the other girl that was there started backing up real fast. But the other one, he had to tell her to back away from the wall and get down. Soon as there was a malfunction, she should have got down. And the fact that he had to tell her
Right.
was because in the caption said, unless you've been in the military, you may not get this. So everybody was like, "What's the problem?" So I'm reading the comments, and I'm like, "These motherfuckers,"
What you mean was
because they're trying to. But the people in the comments were trying to uplift
Justify.
the woman and justify her actions, and I'm like, "No." But you know what? She didn't belong there.
Period.
All right, she just really didn't belong there, man.
Hey,
in
and
this place, everything is backwards, and you know,
Right.
like we said, man,
Bring it out.
the shameful spewing on their glory, man. There's no wisdom here.
Hey, Elder Malcolm, you say she don't belong there. You're right. She don't. It's because she don't know her job. Her job is to catch the nut.
Go ahead, read. Hey, you know what's
Pretty sure she called it that.
Bring out those two scriptures about the shower.
This is Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts. Is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent?
That's what they said.
Is their wisdom vanished? You know, and shit. Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's just what it is, man. You know, Esau, his wisdom is vanished. You enlisting rappers to try to boost the morale. You doing all type of fucking false flags. You trying to say you shooting down chariots. Hey, Esau, you just out of there, man. You're out of there, man. Your numbers are down. All right, your military is weak. These other nations, they lose cops. Like this shit.
You got TVs in. You got TVs in.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got a bunch of transformers in your fucking military. All right.
More than me, Steve. Decepticons.
Just through.
He's finished.
Yeah, then I saw this video with the Tic Tac thing that they lying about. It's all bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Just like it says here on the screen. That was complete and utter bullshit. And it's just shameful spewing on your glory, man. Get the scripture, man. We gonna wrap it.
Got a 1:09.
If you can read that and somebody get that Isaiah, I think 14:11.
I get it.
Obadiah 1:8, it reads, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau?
Right. So you went from all these amazing, or what you thought was amazing, military campaigns with all these generals, these legendary generals with these campaigns where they won battles and shit, to bring in some rappers and a bunch of women that can't even throw a grenade over a wall. Right? How you the wall? It wasn't like the wall was tall.
Exactly. Well, she had to heave it.
She could have dropped it over the other side and got that.
But that's not even how you throw a grenade, because they told us to lob.
No.
Yeah.
You supposed to lob. This
that
said,
bitch.
right. This bitch
Well,
said,
no, she said. Right to her feet.
yeah,
That's it. Yeah, you can lob it out of a foxhole.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You said Isaiah 14:11?
I got it. Like this Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
So they're not so pompous and arrogant. They're not looking real good right now.
All right. I don't
And
know.
there's so many videos where Edomites being ashamed. You know, I did a video I think it was yesterday or the day before, and there was a video of an Edomite who her dying grandfather, who was actually a Vietnam veteran, who was all fucked up from Agent Orange and lived a suffering life. That's what he deserved all the way up until then. But on his dying bed, he called his granddaughter in and told her, "I got to tell you, I got something to tell you." And she's like, "You know what's up? You know what's up, Grandpa?" And he tells her, he just said, "We've never been the good guys." And he told his granddaughter with his dying breath, "Everything you learned in school was a lie. All history has been whitewashed to make us look good." And you know, and she's like, "Well, you know," and she's going back and forth with him. And he said, "Well, what about when we helped this country?" He said, "No, we weren't helping those people. We were going over there to take their stuff from them. We went over there. We kicked in doors. We took names. We kicked ass. And we stole shit. We killed people. And that's the true nature of the so-called white man."
Edomite.
And so, you know, he on his deathbed, he told her, and now she's all, "I look at everything differently now. You know, I'm so ashamed of this, that, and the other, and now and all this history that I thought was true." Yeah, and that's just it. So they're complaining of an ungodly father. So you can read that one after that. But go ahead and finish that, Malcolm.
Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, in the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worm covered thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend above the clouds, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
That's what Esau's done when you start up. It makes it clear he's talking about the king of Babylon. Lucifer is not a name, but a spiritual angel that we refer to as Satan.
That's right, Barry.
All right, that is Esau, Edom, his rulers. All right, or more specific, and it's letting you know about the downfall of his kingdom. Esau has went ahead and made himself that he's above the Israelites. He is the Israelites. He is God. But now the Most High is destroying him, and the Lord is showing that Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, is showing that he is power.
That's it.
All right, and Yahweh Shai is the son. All right, that's what's happening here.
And that shameful spewing on his history, on his name.
Yes.
You even got Edomites declaring that what those Hebrews are saying, what those Israelites are saying is true. You even got Edomites agreeing, saying that what we're saying is true, man. About 1,000. It's not just like one or two.
And it says the devils believe and tremble. Esau knows that we're speaking the truth. He knows that our power is the true power, and that's why he's doing all this extra to get his to rally the troops.
Get that out.
So because it said they are afraid, yes, dirt fight.
Yep.
Esau will go down, man, and the Lord is going to use even the heathens to take you down to show that He controls all things, like He did with Nebuchadnezzar. Right. So you may know that the Lord ruled in the kingdom of men. Right. He controls your mind. Right. All right. Nobody resists the will of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah. You're gonna be like that Edomite that got beat on that road by that Moabite. All right. She's begging and pleading for her to stop whooping her and her son's ass. All right. Trying to run, and the chick running behind her, beating her ass with that stick.
You bitch. That little Edomite that came up to the camp and actually busted out her Bible. And when she went to every precept you guys gave her, it broke her down because she actually then could realize, could see what you guys were saying, that nowhere in that Bible did it say that it included the whole world, and it fucked her up.
And the fact that she knew that she, not only that, she got that, she also understood that she was that people that's hated of the Lord.
That's it.
You know, that damn.
So she got no mercy coming.
Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, there's a lot of Edomites that are actually looking this shit up and realizing that if they're going back to the Bible that we're going into, those things are written, and with those other precepts in order, gives their judgment. The Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, which is their scribes, which is their teachers, their so-called doctors, they're saying that Edom is the only neighbor of the Israelites, does not promise mercy, and is of a grave future judgment.
Right. Where's that Bible? No, it's a Bible over there. That pictorial Bible.
Oh, the action Bible.
Right. Yeah. You know, if you could just show that to the camera, just see, because they did this shit. They made all the characters in the Bible, all the heroes, all the Israelites, so-called white people. You know, when you turn around in the back, they're showing you Yahweh Shai. You know, they're showing you Cesare Borgia.
That's right.
You know. They showing everybody that's wicked is brown skin.
Right. And now, years ago, we talked way before, and we'll talk about if they ever showed a show talking about Esau, if they would show it, and then they had the one series that was called that was ready.
It was called of Gods and Prophets or something.
Prophets and Gods.
I did a lesson on it, and that shit went off the air, man.
Right. And it's like shit showed those things.
At the water, Yahweh Shalom shot.
Yeah. Soon as it got down to Esau, they showed some niggas. They had everybody else, everything, and but the Lord shut that show down immediately right after that, and that show got shut. And I was like, hallelujah, because that's Esau, Edom. That's his narrative, man. This is Sirach 41:7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. All right, you are. Complaining now because all your heritage, all your shit is based on lies. It's based not on the truth. All right. If you go into antiquity and look at the what's the Psalms, it says the truth shall spring forth out of the ground. If you look at the pictures, you look at the artifacts, you look at the cult, the relics, it tells a different story than Esau Edom's narrative. All right, that's why he's getting exposed and being manifested to be the devil at this day.
Can I precept you? Just a
Con,
quick,
you both, yeah, y'all two go ahead and finish.
just a quick precept. This is Daniel 8:24. I'm gonna do the NLT version. Daniel 8:24 NLT. It's talking about Esau. It says he will become very strong, but not by his own power. He will cause a shocking amount of destruction and succeed in everything he does. He will destroy powerful leaders and devastate the holy people. He will be a master of deception and will become more arrogant. He will destroy many without warning. He will even take on the prince of princes in battle, and the prince of princes is Yahushua, but he will be broken, though not by human power.
So he ain't gonna be shooting shit down.
What scripture is that?
All right. That's Daniel 8:25. But he read the NLT version.
Just to qualify, because scripture manifold, so the brother, the breakdown is still relevant, right? But because that's the spirit of Esau, let's talk about epiphanies. So it is understood, but that's the spirit of Esau still. Of course,
It's nature.
It's manifold. It's still Esau. Go ahead, brother.
Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
As Esau, and this embodies everything that Esau, Edom encapsulates. All right, going off his belly, a murderer, a killer, a destroyer of the nature, the land, the animals, the birds, the beasts. This means everything that Esau, Edom encapsulates. Go ahead.
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
So there you go, man. So even though, they complain of ungodly fathers, and you see all these Edomite apology videos here and there, and them exposing what their grandfather, what their father's father told them, exposing stuff, and how they look at everything different, and now they become this champion of justice for brown people. And none of that's gonna help you, man. You got to, just like we had to bear our cross and take the punishment that was handed to us as a people, you have to take yours.
That's it.
And the next stop after this, next stop is slavery.
That's right.
And it's really like so if you're not super wealthy, you already broken, poor, and suffering. Well, oh well. You get mad at them, the ones who didn't share it with you, or give you the fair shake. All right, then give you a fair shake of your own kingdom, man.
Two-time loser.
All right, so because I imagine Amalek is really gonna be catching the flops, not only from us but from other Edomites too. Hey, so with that, man, we're gonna give all praises, all honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rekakodash, Abba.
Lights out, Esau.
Turn those machines back on.
A two-time loser.
Sail. Sail.